The galaxy was wide, endless, and full of secrets. Countless empires had risen and fallen among the stars. There were the graceful people of the Sarai, with their shining crystal ships. There were the machine empires of the Krix, who bent metal and logic to their will. There were the Veari, whose worlds floated like gardens among the nebulae. Each species thought they understood fear. They had faced wars. They had faced plagues. They had faced pirates, rebels, even the void itself. But there was one fear that every empire carried in the deep parts of their mind. It was the fear of the Deathworlders. They were not supposed to leave their planet. That was what the oldest council said. Leave them alone, and they would burn themselves out. Their world was too violent, their storms too harsh, their beasts too deadly. No species born in such chaos should ever survive, yet somehow, the Deathworlders, humans, did. And worse, they thrived. Whispers traveled from trade station to trade station. Some claimed the humans had built fleets, small ones, strong but scattered. Some said they had colonies, hidden on the edges of space. But all agreed on one thing. If humans ever moved together, if their warships gathered in one place, the galaxy would tremble. And then it happened. It began with a distress call. The message came from a small colony far beyond the trade lanes, a place no great empire cared about. The colony was not human. It belonged to the gentle Loker, a soft-skinned people who farmed and sang more than they fought. Their ships were slow, their weapons weak. But they had lived in peace for centuries, so why should they fear? Until the silence came. First, one outpost vanished. No distress, no sign of attack, just gone. Then another world fell quiet. Then another. The Loker sent ships to investigate, but none returned. Finally, one broken vessel limped back, engines torn apart, hull shredded. The survivors told a story of shadows. They spoke of predators that came without warning, without signals, without demands. Creatures that did not want trade, or slaves, or land. They wanted only to consume. The Loker were terrified. Their council sent pleas to the great empires. But the Sarai claimed their fleets were too far. The Krix said it was not their problem. The Veari offered sympathy, but sympathy did not stop the predators. So, in desperation, the Loker turned to the one name no one dared to say aloud. Humans. The council chamber shook with protest when the idea was spoken. They are monsters, cried one Sarai envoy, her voice sharp as crystal. You would summon the Deathworlders into our skies? Do you want them to see our weakness? Do you want them to remember we exist? But the Loker were desperate. If we do nothing, we die. Already our children are gone. Who else will come for us? Who else will fight shadows with fire? The Krix machine voices growled in disapproval. The humans do not fight for free. They do not fight for honor. They fight for blood. You will unleash them, and they will never leave. Still, the decision was made. A signal was sent, a simple one. To the people of Earth. We beg your aid. A threat moves in the dark. Please, answer. The galaxy held its breath. No one expected an answer. Many believed the humans would ignore it. But then the stars began to move. It started small. Scouts reported strange ships moving in formation. They were ugly, built of hard lines and armored plating, nothing like the elegant craft of other races. They carried scars from battles long past, yet they still flew. More ships joined them. 1, then 5, then 20. Soon, hundreds. Ships of every size, carriers, destroyers, frigates, all marked with the same strange colors. Some bore names etched into their sides: Iron Resolve, Valiant, Relentless, Ashes of Terra. The humans had not just answered. They had gathered. The fleets of old empires trembled in their harbors. The Sarai whispered, "We hoped they were myths." The Krix calculated, "Their numbers are higher than expected." The Veari prayed, "May they fight the enemy, and not us." And at the heart of it all, the Loker looked to the stars and wondered if they had made the greatest mistake in history. The fleet was terrifying not just in size, but in silence. Humans did not broadcast their movements. They did not send greetings. They did not boast. They moved with the cold precision of hunters. Every ship followed a path, as if drawn by the same hand. Alien spies tried to listen. They heard nothing but codes they could not break. The few fragments that escaped made little sense. Short, clipped words like target, confirm, burn. This was not the speech of diplomats. This was the speech of killers. And yet, when the first human ambassador finally spoke to the Loker, his voice was calm, almost gentle. "You called," he said. "We heard." The Loker asked if the humans understood the danger. The humans smiled without humor. "Predators? We know predators. Show us where they hide." Rumors spread faster than light. On every station, in every marketplace, people whispered of the fleet. Merchants sold carvings of human warships to those who wanted luck or protection. Children dared each other to speak the word Deathworlder aloud. Some prayed for human victory. Others prayed for their defeat. One thing was certain: the galaxy had not seen such a gathering of human power in living memory. And with each passing day, the fleet grew larger. More ships arrived, answering some silent call. Old veterans came from forgotten wars. Young captains brought their first command. Even merchant ships were converted, stripped of cargo and armed with weapons. It was not just an army. It was a tide. At first, the predators ignored them. They had grown fat on weak prey. The Loker had fallen easily. Why fear another? Then the predators saw the Deathworlders' fleet. And for the first time, they hesitated. Their ships were sleek, built for ambush, not war. They struck from shadows, from silence. But against this armada, the shadows would not be enough. Still, they did not flee. Predators never flee. The galaxy held its breath again. The Loker expected the humans to rush into battle. That was the legend, after all. Humans were reckless, wild, always hungry for blood. But the legends were wrong. The humans did not rush. They waited. They scouted. They mapped every star, every asteroid, every path the predators might use. Their fleets drilled in silence, turning and shifting in perfect unity. The aliens watching grew uneasy. This was not chaos. This was discipline. And when the first predator ship finally appeared on the edge of the system, the humans did not shout or panic. They did not waste words. One order was spoken, and the fleet moved as one. The first clash lasted only minutes. Predator claws scraped against human steel. Their shadow ships tried to vanish, but humans dragged them into the light with brutal sensors and burning flares. Then came the guns. The humans did not use elegant beams like the Sarai. They did not use precision drones like the Krix. They used railguns, missiles, cannons that shook the void. Weapons that tore holes through metal and flesh alike. And when the predators tried to run, human ships followed. Relentless. Unstoppable. When it was over, nothing remained but wreckage. The galaxy trembled. If this was only the beginning, what would the end look like? And so the legend began. The fleet that terrified the galaxy was not born in pride or glory. It was born from a call for help, a single plea in the dark. But the moment the humans answered, everything changed. The galaxy would never look at them the same way again. And deep within the shadows, the predators stirred. For the first time in centuries, they had found prey that would not break. Prey that hunted back. The war had begun. The galaxy thought it had seen fear when the Deathworlders first arrived. It had not. What the alien empires did not yet understand was that the humans were not merely a fleet. They were a force shaped by a planet that demanded survival through fire, blood, and constant struggle. They did not fight for honor, or trade, or diplomacy. They fought because they had learned, through centuries of hardship, that failure meant extinction. And now, they faced an enemy unlike any other. The predators were not like the alien empires the humans had read about in the intercepted reports. The Sarai, the Krix, and the Vayari were all structured, predictable. They had fleets with names, codes, ranks. Their tactics were sharp, but their weaknesses were visible. These predators were different. They were shadows. They moved silently across the void. Their ships were dark, angular, nearly invisible even in deep space. They attacked without warning. No transmissions, no diplomacy, no warnings, only sudden destruction. Colonies vanished, fleets disintegrated, entire communication arrays were shredded without a trace. When the humans first encountered them, the galaxy's other races were terrified. No one had ever seen a predator fleet face an organized human strike and survive more than a few minutes. Captain Mara Kell of the human flagship Iron Resolve looked at the view screen. She did not speak. She did not need to. The Predator's fleet was enormous, or so the alien observers would have guessed. To a human, it was a puzzle. Some ships were large, some small, scattered in strange formations. It was not chaos. It was clever. "Prepare for engagement," Mara said simply. Her crew nodded. No one knew her age. Some guessed 30, others 40. It did not matter. Humans judged not by age or rank alone, but by capability. Mara had survived a dozen worlds, 3 uprisings, and an entire solar storm that had destroyed 2 of her previous ships. She was ready. The bridge was quiet, except for the hum of engines and the occasional beep of scanners. Meanwhile, the galaxy watched from afar. From a Sarai observation station, Envoy Lyra whispered to herself, "They move too calmly, too deliberately. This is not desperation. This is calculation." The Krix, a collective intelligence speaking in monotone clicks, processed the human movements. Efficiency, 97.6%. Probability of failure, near 0. Warning, human fleet underestimated. Even the Vayari, with their floating gardens in the void, trembled. "It feels wrong," one murmured. "Like watching a predator hunting another predator." No one fully understood what was coming. The first engagement was sudden. A small predator scouting ship appeared near the outer asteroid belt of the colony system. The humans did not rush blindly into battle. They did not call for reinforcements. They had prepared, as they always did. Sensors flared. Red and orange blips appeared across the tactical screen. The scouts were invisible to the naked eye, but the humans could see every movement through their layered detection arrays. Mara gave the order. "Target. Lock. Fire." In seconds, the Predator's ship was gone. Not a fragment remained. The alien observers gasped. A single human ship destroyed them? That is impossible. Mara did not smile. She did not celebrate. She simply moved on. Another blip appeared. Another threat. Another destruction. The humans were not fast, but they were relentless. They moved as one. Their fleet flowed like liquid metal across the void, forming defensive walls, offensive spikes, and traps. The Predators adapted, shifting formations, changing tactics. Yet the humans adapted faster. They had learned to expect unpredictability. Every crew member knew their role without question. Every gun, missile, and railgun acted in perfect sequence. When the first Predator ship tried to flee through a dense asteroid field, human drones followed. They anticipated every movement, cutting off escape paths before the Predators realized they were trapped. It was not brute force alone that won the day. It was understanding, precision, and an instinct honed over millennia of survival on a world that would kill its own children if they were weak. Elsewhere, alien leaders debated. "This is not just a fleet," said one Sarai counselor. "This is a natural disaster given shape and mind. They are monsters, yes, but we invited them." The Krix added, "Observation. Human combat behavior does not conform to standard models. Prediction of next move, unreliable. Alert, traditional strategies ineffective." The Vayari, pale and trembling, whispered, If they can destroy the predators with such ease, what stops them from turning on us? These doubts were not paranoia. They were rational fear. The humans did not act like other empires. They did not negotiate, bribe, or bargain. They struck, and they did so without hesitation. On the human fleet, life continued as always. Crew members moved efficiently through corridors. Weapons were checked, shields adjusted, engines monitored. Mara walked among them briefly, noting the young soldiers, the seasoned officers, and even the engineers who could make a ship from scrap metal and hope. "Focus," she said quietly to one young lieutenant. "Don't worry about the galaxy. Worry about the ship. The rest will follow." That was the human way. Small steps, simple orders, precise execution. They did not boast. They did not fear. They simply acted. And the predators would soon learn, they did not forgive. The first major predator attack came at the outer colonies. Predators struck like lightning, moving through empty space corridors at impossible speeds. Their weapons were unlike anything the humans had seen. Some fired streams of corrosive plasma. Others sent waves that disrupted sensors, hiding their movements until the last moment. The humans responded without panic. Every ship in the fleet shifted, rotated, and coordinated. Mines were deployed in predicted paths. Decoy drones simulated vulnerable ships. Missile batteries were preloaded, and railguns charged. When the predators hit, they found traps waiting. Ships that seemed alone exploded into a coordinated strike, tearing predator vessels apart before they could even fire again. It was not just the humans' weapons that amazed observers. It was their tactics. They boarded predator ships. They fought hand-to-hand when necessary. They captured information, studied weaknesses, and struck again. Each predator loss taught the humans something new, and they never stopped adapting. Alien observers whispered, "They are learning, faster than any other species. Faster than we can comprehend." Rumors spread quickly across the galaxy. The Deathworlders were not only strong, they were smart. They did not rely on numbers alone. They relied on instinct, creativity, and a will to survive that no other species could match. Some began to see them as saviors. Others saw them as a storm that might one day turn on all of them. And all the while, the predators did not retreat. They were patient hunters. They struck again and again, always trying to find a weakness. But the humans, the Deathworlders, were always one step ahead. In the midst of the chaos, Mara received intelligence from a captured predator ship. It was dark, almost unreadable, but the data revealed one thing. The predators had a central command, a heart of their operation, hidden deep in a system surrounded by unstable stars. Destroy that, and the predators might finally be broken. Mara studied the information carefully. "We go there," she said simply. "All ships, prepare for jump. We end this before it spreads further." Her crew did not ask why. They did not question the risks. They understood that humans never fought without purpose, and they followed because they knew failure was not an option. Meanwhile, the galaxy watched in awe and fear. "How can they do this?" asked one Sarai observer. "They are humans. Ordinary humans. And yet," a Crick's voice replied, "they are the end of what we know. If the predators fall, what comes next? If humans can conquer monsters so easily, what is stopping them from conquering everything else?" Even the Veari admitted, in a whisper that shivered through the council halls, "They are not heroes. They are something else entirely." The word spread among stations, among traders, among soldiers. The Deathworlders were here. They answered the call. And the enemy unseen was about to meet the storm. By the time the humans reached the Predator's hidden system, the galaxy already knew one fact. The humans did not merely answer a call, they controlled the battle. Ships lined up in precise formations, engines humming with anticipation. Mara looked at the stars, each one hiding the Predator's secrets. She did not smile, nor did she flinch. She gave one order: bring them to light. And the Predators would soon discover that for every shadow they hid in, the humans had already calculated 10 ways to strike. This was the true beginning of the war. Not a clash of fleets, but a clash of instincts, of willpower, and of survival. The galaxy could only watch, holding its breath. For the first time in centuries, the predators would fight a species that would not run. A species that would not falter. A species that answered the call. And the Deathworlders were just getting started. The Deathworlder fleet moved like a shadow across the void, quiet, purposeful, unstoppable. The Predator's hidden system loomed ahead, a cluster of black suns, burning gas clouds, and shattered planets. This was their heart, the central command that had orchestrated countless attacks. Alien observers trembled at the thought of the humans entering the system. They could see the fleet now in its full might. Hundreds of ships, each one marked with scars of battles long past. Iron Resolve led the line, flanked by the largest carriers and destroyers in human history. Every vessel carried weapons designed for efficiency, for destruction, for survival. And yet, the humans made no sound. Captain Mara Kell stood on the bridge of Iron Resolve, her eyes scanning the viewscreens. Every crew member knew what was coming, and every one of them was ready. Mara's voice was calm, almost casual, but it carried a weight that the crew could feel. Prepare all systems. Deploy forward scouts. Keep sensors at maximum. Engage only on my order. The crew responded without hesitation. Every movement was precise, every command anticipated. This was not panic. This was instinct, honed through generations of survival on a planet that would kill the weak without mercy. Outside, the predators waited, hidden among asteroid belts and gas clouds. They did not know the humans had already detected them. They had never faced prey like this before. The first strike came almost instantly. Small predator ships burst from the shadows, firing corrosive plasma that sizzled across human hulls. But the humans were ready. Shields flared, countermeasures activated, and missiles tore through the predator ranks with surgical precision. Alien observers gasped. They are destroying them before they can attack. Mara did not speak. She watched the tactical displays, noting each predator movement, each ship's trajectory. Every human crew member acted as if they shared a single mind, anticipating, adapting, responding. One predator ship tried to escape into a dense asteroid field. Human drones pursued it, navigating the rocks with deadly accuracy. Within moments, the predator was gone, torn apart by railguns and automated turrets. The battle had begun. It was not just the weapons that frightened the predators, it was the humans themselves. Boarding parties descended on enemy vessels, silent and swift. They moved through corridors filled with alien machinery and strange, predatory designs. Their weapons were simple yet deadly. Compact rifles, plasma blades, devices that tore through hulls and defenses alike. Every predator that resisted was met with a human precision strike. There was no hesitation. There was no fear. The humans did not pause to celebrate, nor did they take prisoners unless it served a purpose. They acted with a cold, calculated efficiency. Observers from the Vayari and Sarai stations whispered among themselves. It is not just technology, one said. They fight like hunters. Like they were born to kill the predators themselves. Meanwhile, the predators tried new tactics. They deployed shadow fields, cloaking devices, and energy nets. They attempted ambushes and feints, hoping to scatter the human fleet. But every move was anticipated. Sensors penetrated shadows, decoys countered traps, and the humans adapted faster than the predators could react. Captain Mara issued a simple order: push forward. Trap them. End this. And the fleet obeyed. Ships moved in synchronized patterns, cutting off escape routes, surrounding the enemy, leaving nowhere to hide. The predators realized, too late, that the humans were not just a fleet, they were a single, unstoppable force, moving with lethal intelligence. The first major clash in the system was brutal. Predator vessels swarmed from multiple angles, plasma streams lighting up the void. Human shields flared, absorbing the impact, while automated turrets returned fire. Railguns tore through predator hulls, scattering debris across the battlefield. Boarding teams breached the largest predator ships, moving silently through alien corridors. The predators fought, but their combat was disorganized compared to the humans. Every human movement was deliberate, every strike precise. Within moments, the predator command ship was compromised. Alien observers could not believe their eyes. They are winning, so easily. The humans did not stop. They pursued, cleaned up, and advanced. They moved like a wave, relentless and unyielding. Every predator vessel that tried to flee was met with another human attack. Every ambush was countered before it could succeed. Yet, there was no shouting, no celebration, no sign of panic among the human crews. Mara moved calmly across her bridge, issuing orders only when necessary. Every soldier, every pilot, every engineer acted as if part of a single, unstoppable organism. The predators made a desperate move. They activated a hidden device, a massive energy pulse intended to disable the entire human fleet. Alien observers gasped as the pulse rippled through space. Systems flickered, shields weakened, and sensors went haywire. For a moment, it seemed the humans might be caught off guard. But Mara had anticipated this. Divert auxiliary power to shields. Launch countermeasures. Deploy drones to intercept. The pulse struck, but it was absorbed, neutralized, and turned against the predators. The device exploded, obliterating the surrounding predator ships. Human losses were minimal. Predator casualties were catastrophic. The fleet advanced, unstoppable, relentless. The galaxy watched in awe and terror. Reports streamed to Sarai, Krix, and Vayari stations. Every message described the same thing: humans moving with perfect coordination, destroying enemies that had terrified entire empires. It was not brute force alone. It was strategy, instinct, and a will to survive stronger than anything else. Whispers spread among traders, soldiers, and civilians. The Deathworlders fight like no one else. They are monsters. But we called them. And they answered. The predators tried to retreat deeper into the system, hiding among the unstable stars. They believed the humans would not follow, that the hazards would stop them. But Mara did not hesitate. Engage all ships. Full pursuit. No predator escapes. The fleet moved through asteroid fields, radiation clouds, and gravitational anomalies with terrifying precision. Mines were deployed, automated drones scouted paths, and every human ship knew its role perfectly. The predators were no match for such coordinated determination. At one point, a predator ship attempted a suicide run, crashing into a human vessel. The collision was devastating, but the humans reacted with instinctive speed. The ship was diverted, shields absorbed the impact, and the predator's plan failed. Observers whispered, "They are faster than thought, smarter than predicted, and utterly ruthless." Mara's eyes scanned the tactical map. The predator's central command was almost in reach. A single strike could end this war, but she did not rush. Humans did not fight recklessly. Every action was calculated, precise, and deadly. Finally, the fleet reached the Predator command station. It was massive, a twisted network of dark metal and energy fields. Predators poured out to defend it, but the humans were ready. Ships formed a barrier, shielding boarding teams as they approached. Mara gave the order, "Boarding parties, deploy. Take the command station." The boarding teams moved like shadows, slipping through corridors, neutralizing predators silently and efficiently. Explosions rocked the station as human explosives disabled critical systems. Within hours, the station was compromised. The Predators' central command was destroyed, their leadership scattered. Their ability to coordinate attacks collapsed. The human fleet did not stop to celebrate. They did not linger to gloat. Mara knew the Predators were not completely destroyed, only fractured. They would regroup if given the chance. "Prepare for pursuit," she ordered. "No rest. No mercy. They are still alive." The crew moved like clockwork, repairing minor damage, reloading weapons, and preparing for the next engagement. The galaxy watched in stunned silence. The predators had met their match, and the humans had not only survived, they had dominated. The first contact fire had changed everything. Alien leaders debated feverishly. How can a single species be so effective, so ruthless? They are not like us. They do not follow our rules. And they are unstoppable. Some saw hope. If they fight the predators, maybe they can protect us too. Others saw fear. If they can destroy the predators, what stops them from turning on us next? The galaxy realized one simple truth: humans were not merely soldiers. They were survival incarnate, forged on a world that would crush all weakness. And now, they had entered the wider galaxy, answering a call that no other species could have fulfilled. Captain Mara looked out at the battlefield. The stars burned red and gold with fires of conflict. She said nothing, for no words were needed. Her fleet had struck first, and struck hard. The predators had learned fear for the first time. But the war was far from over. The humans would continue to move forward, relentless, unstoppable, adaptive. Every predator that survived would face them again. And every alien watching knew one terrible fact: the Deathworlders had arrived, and they were nothing like anything the galaxy had seen before. The first contact fire had been ignited, and it would not burn out any time soon. The galaxy was silent. Not the quiet of peace, nor the calm of empty space. This was a tense, trembling silence, the kind that falls when everything changes in a moment, and no one is certain if the change is salvation or doom. Reports of the Deathworlder fleet's victories spread faster than the speed of light. Traders spoke in hushed tones on distant stations, sharing fragments of what they had seen: fleets of humans striking with deadly precision, predators destroyed in ways no one had imagined possible, boarding teams moving like shadows through enemy corridors, every plan executed perfectly. The galaxy was watching. The galaxy was terrified. The Sarai Council convened immediately. Their crystal halls shimmered with unease as delegates whispered and argued. "They are humans," said one counselor, his voice barely audible over the hum of the chamber. "Ordinary humans. Yet they strike like gods of war. They destroy fleets that have haunted the outer systems for centuries. How is this possible?" Another counselor added, "They are efficient, yes. Clever, yes. But they are not predictable." Every time the predators tried to adapt, the humans were one step ahead. One step. That is not natural. That is something else. The Cricks spoke next, their monotone clicking filling the room. Observation: humans exhibit adaptability and decision-making far beyond standard parameters. Their fleet coordination is near perfect. Alien probability models fail to account for such efficiency. And the Vayari, pale and nervous, added softly, "They smile while fighting. I have heard reports. Their soldiers enjoy the battle. They do not hesitate. They are terrifying." Meanwhile, across the outer colonies, fear and fascination mixed in equal measure. Traders who had barely survived predator raids now recounted tales of the humans with reverence. "They do not fight for honor," one trader whispered, "or for gold, or for politics. They fight because they must. Because they can. And because no enemy, no predator, can ever stop them." Children on distant stations dared each other to say the word aloud: Deathworlders. The adults would shush them, knowing too well the weight the word carried. Alien scientists tried to study the humans, to understand them, to predict their behavior. But every hypothesis failed. The humans did not act like any other species. They did not fight for glory, nor for diplomacy, nor for revenge. They fought with instinct and intelligence intertwined. Every action was calculated. Every strike had purpose. Every victory was earned. The predators, once confident in their dominance, were now scattered and fearful. They had anticipated a long, drawn-out conflict. They had believed their speed, stealth, and cunning would protect them. But humans did not hesitate. Humans did not panic. Humans moved like a storm, covering every angle, anticipating every attack. One Predator commander, speaking through scrambled communications before his vessel was destroyed, whispered to his fleet, "We cannot fight them. We cannot hide. They are unstoppable." His message was cut off mid-transmission as human railguns tore through the hull of his ship. Silence followed, thick and absolute. As victories accumulated, the humans did not slow. They did not linger to gloat. Captain Mara Kell watched her fleet with calm eyes. Every ship was repaired, resupplied, and ready. Every crew member knew their place and role. There was no chaos, no hesitation. There was only precision, determination, and the unyielding will to survive and conquer. "Prepare to move into the next system," Mara ordered. "Do not allow them to regroup. No respite. No mercy. We strike until the predators have no place to hide." The crew responded silently, efficiently. Every man and woman aboard the fleet moved as if guided by a single mind, each step precise, each action perfect. The galaxy could only watch. Word spread quickly among alien civilizations. Humans were not mere saviors. They were a force of nature, indifferent to diplomacy, unbound by alliances, driven by instinct and survival above all else. Some feared this might be the galaxy's salvation. Others feared it might be the galaxy's doom. The Vayari Council debated, if the Deathworlders can destroy predators with such ease, what prevents them from turning on us? The Cricks clicked in agreement. Observation: the humans' code of conduct and moral parameters differ from known norms. Risk of conflict with allied species, elevated. Probability of unpredictability, maximum. Even the Sarai, who had long prided themselves on wisdom and diplomacy, found themselves whispering in the halls. "We called them. We asked for help. And now, we do not know what we have unleashed." Meanwhile, Mara's fleet encountered survivors of the predator forces hiding in a nearby nebula. The humans did not panic. They did not negotiate. They surrounded the nebula, deployed reconnaissance drones, and waited. Within hours, the predators attempted an escape. The humans were ready. Mines detonated, ships moved into blocking formations, and predator vessels were destroyed in seconds. No mercy was shown. None was needed. Humans fought as humans always had, to survive, to dominate, to ensure the enemy would never rise again. Reports of these battles reached distant worlds. In one corner of the galaxy, a Crick station buzzed with chatter. They are faster than expected. They learn from each strike. Probability of predator survival: near zero. On a Sarai colony, council members discussed the consequences. "We relied on humans to save us," one said, voice shaking. "And they have. But if they can annihilate predators, what stops them from annihilating anyone else?" And on a Vayari station, a young officer stared at the reports, wide-eyed. "They smile while fighting," he whispered to his superior. "Do they enjoy this?" The answer was simple. Yes. Humans enjoyed survival. Humans thrived in battle. Humans were the ultimate predators, even among predators. Meanwhile, in the predator remnants, fear had set in. Their leaders debated frantic strategies. They could not understand how a single species could adapt so quickly, strike so accurately, and anticipate every move. Each attempt to regroup ended in disaster. Every fleet, every hiding place, every ambush failed against the humans. One predator commander, desperate, finally whispered to his officers, "We underestimated them. We were wrong. We cannot survive." And yet, they did not surrender. Predators never surrendered. They hid, they planned, they waited for the humans to make a mistake. But the humans made none. The human victories began to shift the balance of power. Alien empires that had previously ignored the predator threat now sent observers, fearing both humans and the predators. Traders offered supplies to the humans, hoping to stay on their good side. Some military leaders considered alliances, hoping to learn from the humans' strategies. But the humans remained aloof. They accepted what they needed, and nothing more. They did not fight for glory, for profit, or for recognition. They fought for survival, and for the protection of those who had called them. The galaxy could only wait, uncertain of the consequences. Mara knew the predators were adapting, learning from each defeat. She anticipated their moves, calculating outcomes, preparing strategies, and positioning her fleet. Every ship, every crew member, every weapon was part of a single plan. The Deathworlders did not hesitate, did not falter, and did not fear. Their resolve was absolute. "We move into the next cluster," Mara said calmly. "No predator escapes. No colony falls. We end this before they can strike again." Her crew nodded silently. Each knew the weight of her words. Each knew the stakes. The humans did not fight recklessly. They did not panic. They executed, they adapted, and they dominated. By the time the humans reached the next system, the fear had spread beyond the predators. Alien empires across the galaxy whispered warnings to each other. "The Deathworlders are here," traders said. "They answer calls. They destroy monsters. And they do not stop." Some saw hope, that the humans might protect them from threats they could not face alone. Others saw terror, that a species so powerful, so relentless, could one day turn its attention toward them. Every report, every transmission, every whisper carried the same truth: humans were no ordinary species. They were the storm that the galaxy had ignored for too long. In the midst of the fear and awe, Mara's fleet pressed on. No celebration marked their victories. No speeches were made. They did not fight for fame or glory. They fought because they had been called, and because survival demanded action. The galaxy could only watch as the Deathworlders moved forward, unstoppable, unyielding, and utterly terrifying. And far away, in the shadows, the predators regrouped. They had survived, barely. But every survivor knew one fact: the humans had changed everything. No hiding place was safe. No strategy was enough. No ambush could succeed. The galaxy had called. The humans had answered. And now, the fear of their arrival spread faster than light itself. The predators were cornered. For centuries, they had ruled the darkness between the stars, hunting, striking, and vanishing before any enemy could respond. They had believed themselves untouchable, the masters of stealth and violence. But the Deathworlders had changed everything. The fleet moved into the predators' last stronghold, a system of shattered planets, molten moons, and unstable asteroids. Every step was calculated. Every ship knew its role. Every human acted with a singular purpose: to finish the hunt. The galaxy watched, unable to tear its eyes away. What had begun as a call for help had turned into a war unlike any seen in living memory. Captain Mara Kell stood on the bridge of iron resolve, staring at the predator system. She did not smile. She did not flinch. Every detail had been anticipated. Every trap had been calculated. The predators would have no escape this time. "Final approach," Mara said calmly. "Weapons hot. Boarding teams ready. No hesitation. No mercy. Let them see the cost of challenging humans." The crew moved in perfect synchronization. Engineers, soldiers, pilots, all knew their parts instinctively. There was no fear. There was only purpose, honed through centuries of survival on a world that would kill the weak without mercy. The first predator ships emerged from the shadows, attempting a desperate counterattack. But the Deathworlders were ready. Missiles streaked through space, hitting targets with surgical precision. Railguns tore through hulls. Automated drones intercepted stealth ships, revealing the predators' positions before they could strike. Alien observers could barely comprehend the efficiency of the humans. "They are everywhere at once," whispered one Sarai counselor. "No matter where the predators hide, the humans are already there." The predators tried again, attacking in waves, hoping to overwhelm the fleet. Each attempt failed. Each strike was countered. Each ambush destroyed before it could succeed. The predators were clever, adaptive, and relentless, but the humans were faster, smarter, and utterly unyielding. Boarding teams descended on the largest predator stations. They moved like shadows through alien corridors, weapons ready, tactics perfect. The predators fought, claws tearing and weapons firing, but they were outmatched. Every movement of the humans was calculated, every strike precise. Survivors whispered in disbelief, How can they move like this? They are human. And yet. And then the predators understood, humans were not merely soldiers. They were survival incarnate, predators among predators, unstoppable and adaptive. The Predator Command Center was breached. Explosions rocked the station. Ships crumpled under fire. Systems failed. Leadership was shattered. Within hours, the Predator's last organized resistance collapsed. Mara surveyed the battlefield from the bridge. She did not celebrate. Humans never did. There was no joy in victory, only a recognition of purpose fulfilled. Scan the system, she ordered. Ensure no vessel escapes. Recover survivors for intelligence. No surprises. The crew responded with quiet efficiency. Every human knew the work was not over. Even when the predators were defeated, vigilance remained. They had learned long ago that survival demanded constant attention, constant effort. The galaxy, meanwhile, trembled at what it had witnessed. Reports of the Deathworlders' victory spread like wildfire. Traders spoke in hushed tones, whispering tales of the fleet's precision and brutality. Colonies shared stories of the humans' relentless pursuit. Alien empires debated, some in awe, others in terror. What have we done? One Sarai counselor asked quietly. We called them. We asked for help. And now, the galaxy may never be the same. The Cricks added their cold assessment. Observation: human fleet demonstrates capabilities beyond prediction. Probability of unchecked influence: high. Risk of future conflict: maximum. Even the Vayari admitted, softly, they saved us, but at what cost? If humans can destroy predators so easily, what stops them from conquering us one day? The answer was clear: nothing stopped them. Humans did not conquer for glory, they survived for survival. But survival itself was terrifying to the rest of the galaxy. In the predator remnants, fear had become despair. Leaders huddled on dark, hidden asteroids, debating futile strategies. Every attempt to regroup failed. Every fleet that moved was destroyed. Every plan was anticipated. Even the most cunning predators realized they had underestimated humans. One survivor finally spoke, voice trembling, We cannot win. We underestimated them. They are not like any prey we have ever known. Another added, bitterly, they do not fight like we fight. They do not fear like we fear. They are monsters. And monsters, in this galaxy, had the final word. Mara addressed her fleet quietly. Mission complete, she said. The predators cannot threaten these colonies again. Prepare to return home. Her crew nodded. Repairs were made. Systems recalibrated. The fleet had fought, destroyed, and now it was time to leave. But the galaxy would not forget the message the humans had left behind. Before departing, the fleet transmitted a message across the systems, a simple but chilling statement. We heard your call. We answered. But remember, do not summon Deathworlders lightly. We will come for those in danger. And for those who call us, be prepared for what follows. The words echoed across the stars, reaching every listening empire, every colony, every trader and observer. Humans had not only destroyed the predators, they had announced their presence to the galaxy. And with that presence came fear, awe, and respect unlike anything before. Alien empires debated what to do next. Some argued for alliances, hoping to learn from the humans' tactics. Others argued for caution, fearing the power of a species so lethal, so adaptive, and so utterly fearless. The Cricks calculated probabilities, running endless simulations. Every scenario concluded the same way: humans were unstoppable if fully mobilized, and no empire could match their adaptability or determination. The Sarai debated ethics and diplomacy, but no counselor could deny one truth: the humans had reshaped the galaxy with a single campaign. Even the Veari, once the gentlest of races, whispered among themselves, "We called them. We asked for help. And now, we live in the shadow of a force we cannot fully understand." Mara watched the stars as the fleet moved home. She did not celebrate, nor did she boast. The humans had completed their mission. The predators were broken, and the colonies were safe, for now. But she knew the galaxy had changed. Every race had seen the human strength, their precision, their relentlessness. The Deathworlders had answered a call, and in doing so, they had reminded the galaxy why humans were feared, respected, and utterly unstoppable. Her fleet moved silently through the void, engines humming, weapons armed but idle, a shadow of warning for any who might call on them again. The predators were gone. The colonies survived. The galaxy could breathe, for now. But the humans had left a message in blood and fire, a message that would not be forgotten. Do not summon Deathworlders lightly. Across the galaxy, whispers continued. Traders carved images of human warships. Children dared to say the name aloud, Deathworlders. Scientists tried to understand their tactics. Military leaders debated alliances. Every race, from the smallest trader to the largest empire, knew one simple truth. The humans had arrived, and they had changed the rules of survival forever. Some saw hope. Some saw terror. But all knew this: if the humans answered a call, nothing would ever be the same. Captain Mara Kell looked out at the stars one last time before the fleet began its long journey home. Her voice was calm, almost gentle. "We heard the call. We answered. The galaxy is safer, for now." Her crew did not cheer. They did not celebrate. They understood the weight of what had been done. They had fought, they had survived, and they had reminded the galaxy why humans were feared above all. And as the fleet moved into deep space, one truth remained: the Deathworlders had answered the call, and the galaxy would never forget them.